The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the virtual Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois for tonight's running of Round 2 of the OP Racing Throwback Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Dawson Wise. You're joining me for all the action here tonight live from Chicagoland, the second stop on our tour of the second half of the 2001 Winston Cup Series schedule. Qualifying about to get underway as we head to our first mile-and-a-half visit of the season, one of my personal favorite tracks here in Chicagoland. It'll be interesting to see these guys start to negotiate what the dynamic track will do tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the night as we go here. You see them starting to get on. We'll get a little bit of a scenic look at tonight's venue, a mile-and-a-half here in Joliet, Illinois. Happy to have you joining me. Really quickly, before we do get started, we want to thank our sponsor, brand new sponsor here at Turn 3 Racing Network, Premier Racing Setups. You see their link there in the top left, your new home for racing setups, the official setup shop of the Turn 3 Racing Network. Road setups, dirt setups, short track setups, oval setups, they got it all. They do a lot of work with the Coke Series drivers as well. A very diverse group of setups, some of the best in the business over there at PRS. PRSsetups.com, your home for all the best racing setups that you could need. They did some work for the Daytona 24 as well. You see their setups everywhere. Go check them out, PRSsetups.com. Thanks again to Premier Racing Setups for being the new setup shop home of the Turn 3 Racing Network. Qualifying is on the racetrack in round 2 of the Throwback Series. As we get ready to go from Chicagoland as the car flies by our camera there. And gets their lap on the board. 3.5 minutes to go in the qualifying session. And before we go green, we will take you trackside here tonight for pre-race ceremonies and the playing of our national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free the home of the brave.
And with that, we say good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the virtual mile-and-a-half Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. The setting of tonight's race, you're getting a look high above this high-banked, progressive-banked mile-and-a-half speedway that will be the venue for tonight's event. I cannot wait to get this one underway. It's going to be a fun one. Like I said, one of my favorite tracks that we go to on the schedule, one of my favorites to get behind the wheel and race. And tonight, we've got a good one for you as we get ready to put on a great race here tonight. You see the qualifying results tick by on the left side of your screen as we get ready to go green here from Chicagoland. A couple things really quick. A quick broadcasting programming announcement. There will be no broadcast next Thursday night. Unfortunately, some time commitment errors going on there. Some conflicts going on there with scheduling. Unfortunately, there will be no broadcast live here on Turn 3 Racing Network next week. I apologize in advance for that. But my schedule would not allow it for next Thursday night. We'll have you for the rest of the season, though. But next Thursday, no broadcast. Second note here very quickly is throughout the night, there are some OP-affiliated drivers racing in the Podium 500 heat races that are tonight. We'll keep you updated on that one. I know a throwback regular, our Super Speedway regular as well, Monday and Wednesday driver Vicente Guerrero is currently on track in heat number 8, I believe. He is starting on the pole in heat number 8, so we'll keep you updated on his status throughout the night and all of the OP driver status as we go throughout the night. I have it up, and I'll be watching, and I'll give you guys some updates. I can tell you, out of heat number 7, notably, Coke Series Michael Cozy Jr. misses the Podium 500 tonight. In fact, misses Saturday altogether. He is eliminated as of tonight. There have been several that have gone home, but we'll keep you updated from here on out on the heats that are currently on track, the ones that will be on track at some point during this race. Heat 8's on track now. Throughout the night, we'll try to give you some updates on where the OP-related guys finish in that one. Well, we turn our attention now to the OP Racing Throwback Series, who we still have a race tonight, and we race live from the Chicagoland Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois. We're going to go through your starting grid of just over 20 cars for tonight's event. On the pole, he certainly is the faster pastor tonight, the 75 of Stoney Benfield, a quick time tonight of 30.494 seconds. He will lead the field of the green, the NC811.org Chevrolet Impala. To his outside, missed last week, unfortunately due to some scheduling issues, but he is in the field tonight. The newcomer from last season that made such a splash, he's ready to go tonight, and he is primed for a big effort, and that is the 12 of Christian Strader. Row 2, a newcomer tonight, Trey Galgan in the 49 will start third. Alongside him, the runner-up in points from last season, Isaiah Dupree in the 86. Cody Eldred will start fifth in the Sharpie Chevrolet. To his outside will be Matt Hayden in the Viagra colors on that Ford Taurus tonight. Starting seventh will be Bo Benham, the Daytona winner from last season in the 64, and Mike Mosley in the 29. And rounding out the top 10 on row number 5, it'll be Adam Green in the 777, and Travis Elliott in the 51. Row 6, a pair of rookies here in the Throwback Series, Andrew Maletta in the 19, and Chris Weaver in the 88. Row 7, Eric Kosciolik in the 7, and Hunter Carlson in the 2. Row 8, it'll be Charles Richardson in the 13, and Jordan Anderson in the 10, coming off a third-place finish in his first start in this series. Last week's winner and our points leader, Anthony English, starts from 17th tonight. To his outside will be the 39 of Brian Elmore. Starting 19th, and on row number 10 will be Chris Confer, the 57 to his outside, the boss man, and the good wrench, black and silver number 3, Alex Green. Starting 21st on row number 11, it'll be Davey Weaver in the 16, to his outside, one of the rookies, Mark Willett in the 80. Row 12, you know him, you love him, a normal here on the mile and a half, Sebastian Marin, the Monday Series reigning champion, is in the field tonight in the 25 for Dale Cup, and his outside will be the 59 of John Guerra. Shotgun on the field tonight, last car in the field, the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet of Dylan Pearson. We are ready to go. I am ready to go. I hope you are as well. Thanks so much for joining me. 134 laps await. Stoney Benfield, the faster passer into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We are racing in Chicago. Battle for the lead up front. Benfield's got company, and he's got it early. Isaiah Dupree's on the move. To the inside for the race lead underneath Benfield. Benfield up against the wall. It's a line he ran a lot in practice. He is certainly the class of the field tonight in this race. Dupree going to work here on the bottom against the white line, trying to get to him. Strader has some company as well for third. Galgan and Strader continue to battle for that position. Dupree gives it up. Benfield back to the lead, running right up against the outside safer barrier. He maintains the race lead, and now we'll try to set sail. So far, the men on the move. Sebastian Marin up 4 spots. Alex Green, Jordan Anderson, Kostyolik all up 2 spots, as well as Isaiah Dupree. Dupree working back to the bottom on the white line. We're going to see a lot of multi-groove racing tonight. The dynamic track will become a factor. At some point, the track will rubber up. The grooves will change. You'll see the speed go to one end of the racetrack, go to one groove. We're going to see how that plays out tonight. Over the course of 134 laps, in fact, it'll probably only take about 30 for this track to start to rubber up. We're going to have to see how it pans out. Lap 4 on the board. Fast and furious here so far at this racetrack, and it's been all Stoney Benfield so far. The faster passer, wire to wire, leads the first 4 laps. What an effort out of him early on. Would be great to see him have a good run tonight. Got some bad luck last week in the Super Speedway opener at Daytona. So an unfortunate break for him last week in the opener as Dupree gets the outside wall. Strader down to the bottom. He goes to second after he got third from Trey Galgan, who has fallen to fourth and now has some challenges there as well. As Benfield continues to lead the way, Strader will settle in now to second. The big man on the move is, you guessed it, Sebastian Marin, up 6 spots. He is not able to log a qualifying time, but is in the field. Same as at Charlotte. He's coming from the back. Came back to win that race and at Fontana. And we saw him do exactly what he's doing right now, and that is drive through the field in a hurry. 4.5 seconds back right now of our race leader, Stoney Benfield. We'll keep you updated on where Sebastian Marin runs, but for now, a battle for the lead is on. Christian Strader wants to lead from Benfield as they take lap 6 here on the front straightaway. As Benfield and Strader continue to run away just a little bit from third place Isaiah Dupree. You see the difference in lines. Benfield wants to run up towards the top of up by the safer barrier. Gets a great exit speed, but Strader's got the middle of the corner speed on the bottom. This is about what we saw at Pocono, now on a little bit lesser scale in last season's championship race. We saw Bentley run about a lane and a half up, Strader run right on the bottom, and it worked for him. So for now, Strader continuing that, going right down to the white line. It's where he's going to try to find his speed. Top 3 have broken away here from Galgan and Eldred, who continue to battle on for the 4th position. We're going to keep it here for a moment, though, as the battle for the lead starts to shape up. And now we'll look back here as that battle gets done, and Cody Eldred's on the move. He's up to 4th. He makes the pass on Trey Galgan. Travis Elliott is up 2 spots, looking for 3. Here he'll get Mike Mosley here in turn number 3. Down to the bottom, they will battle side by side. But up front, it's the battle for the lead that continues to rage on. Benfield, Strader, and Dupree. 3 car lengths separate our 3 leaders. Lap 8 goes on the board. And nobody's really lost a ton of time yet. This field's still pretty close together, all things considered. Strader back to the bottom. Now catches the left rear quarter panel that time. Gets the closest he's gotten to Benfield. Has to lift out of it there on exit down this curved back straightaway in Chicago. Dives back to the bottom. Goes back to the white line. He's chipping away at the lead of Stoney Benfield so far. But Benfield's been able to hold his ground and more up against the outside safer barrier, running about 3 lanes off the bottom of the racetrack. That time a great drive off the corner for Benfield, who continues to put time on a lot of the cars in the field tonight. Much to the celebration, I'm sure, of some of those in the audience tonight. Kip Cook, good to see you. Root for the faster pastor. Barbara Pinion, same thing. Root for the faster pastor. Stoney Benfield, and so far one of his best starts here in the Throwback Series is in this race right now, as he has been able to hold off early charges from Dupree. And now Christian Strader, top 4. Put about 3 seconds on now. 5th place Travis Elliott. Trey Galgan has faded to 7th early in the going of this one. You see how much ground they've put now on those cars back there, as the top 3 have started to kind of fade away just a little bit now. As Eldred has to get out of the throttle. They're off turn number 2. And the top 3 are able to pull away by about 1.5 seconds. Strader back to the bottom, side by side. Battle for the lead here in Chicago. Strader has to stay bottom that time. He finally got to the left rear, but not for long. Benfield hard on the gas off the top of the racetrack and leads another one. 10 up, 10 down. Benfield's led all 10 of them. Led the field to the green flag and continues to lead the way. But Strader and Dupree continue to knock on the door and chip away. And now, this is Strader's best run yet. To the inside for the race lead. The Busch Chevrolet looking for the race lead. Strader to the bottom. Benfield up top. Who gets the better of each other off turn 4? The wide exit tells me it's going to be the faster pastor. Here onto the front straightaway they come. The 75 still side by side. Look at how far apart they're running. Can Benfield carry that corner speed into 1? Yes, he will. Fends off another charge here from Strader. Now Dupree joins him up on the outside, but is a little too zealous and gets into the outside wall. Benfield able to really drive the car off of 2, and he hangs on for another charge. Benfield maintains the lead. Great stuff out of him early in this one. He continues to run up against the wall. Now the battle for second will be on as Dupree's found something up against the wall as well. He's going to bypass Christian Strader there at the tail end of this lead group of 3. Strader will settle to third. It'll be Dupree going to second, and goes right back to the bottom now to chip away at Stoney Benfield, who has been running the high line since the get-go. An update for you. Travis Elliott now up 4 spots to 6th. He's 3 seconds back of the leader. Sebastian Marin up 11 spots from 23rd to 12th. He is 5 seconds back of the battle for the lead, but he has slowly been closing it. Battle for the lead off turn number 4. Dupree got to the left side of Benfield now, and another challenge here to the 75 off turn number 4, but he takes the off the corner speed and clears right back in front of Dupree, who now, you see, has changed his line. Now he goes a half lane underneath. 2 wide for the lead. Does Strader potentially make it 3 wide all the way down low? Downstairs against the white line. No, but Dupree able to hang on. Side by side for the lead. Dupree tucks back in line, and back into 3 we go. Dupree another challenge. Lunges to the bottom. Now goes all the way to the white line. You got to watch this bump that's in the middle groove here in 3 and 4. That's the tunnel that the trucks go through. Dupree got a great drive on the white line that time. He wants to lead. 15 up, 15 down. New leader in Chicago, Isaiah Dupree in the 86. Great stuff so far. These top 3 fighting hard. Sebastian Marin has closed another half second on the leaders. Now 4.5 back. He's in 11th place. Still got several cars to pass on his way to the front. Battle for second. Strader versus Benfield. Strader to the bottom. Benfield hanging tough on the top. You're going to have to wait for the dynamic track to come in, I think, for Stoney Benfield. Wait for the bottom to rubber up, loosen up just a little bit, and then the top will be the place to be later in the race. We saw Strader do it in Charlotte last season in our 300-mile race, where he got the top to work, but it took him a little bit. He had to cut away at it. They eventually got the top to work, but it took about 30 to 40 laps of that race. We're about halfway through that now. Dupree first, Strader second, Benfield now third. Marin is up to 10th. He's the biggest mover by a long shot, plus 13. Benfield is fading just the slightest bit as these guys get into a longer run. Strader going to keep the pressure right on the back bumper of Isaiah Dupree. 2 of the best in the Throwback Series. Going to duel it out here early in this race. 17 laps in. From Chicago, all wire to wire so far. These guys follow each other here to the bottom of the racetrack. Dupree versus Strader. Good battle going here. Now, who decides to go to a different line first? One of them's going to have to lunge somewhere else, try to find some speed. Dupree stays second lane this time. Strader down to the white line, all the way downstairs. Now has to file back in behind. Great battle for the lead. 18 laps on the board. Sebastian Marin is on the way, folks. He's up to 7th. 4.5 seconds back of the race for the lead. Strader goes to the top now, tries the, what I'm going to term the Stoney Benfield line so far tonight, the only one to consistently run up against the outside wall. He tries it, gets some speed down the backstretch, trying to find some more momentum, and work his way past Isaiah Dupree. Strader was second in practice. Benfield was first. Dupree was about halfway down the chart, but he's found something early on in the race. Now Strader has to lift out of it. Dupree pulls away by 3 car lengths. Looking in chat, Stephen Lane, good to see you. Says good luck to the podium guys. Yep, wish them all the luck in the world. We'll get to some of them a little bit later in the night. And OP Saturday driver, Stephen Lane. You can catch those races on Max Speed TV with Josh Medlock and Jeremy Medlock. And go check them out there at Hoot on Saturday nights. Go watch those races if you get the chance. Dupree and Strader continue to battle for the lead. We'll go through the field so far, find some battles for you. Battle for 4th is starting to shape up. Trey Galgan's found something here middle of the run as he starts to run down Cody Eldred. Matt Hayden has a mirror full of Sebastian Marin. You'll see him pop into the picture. The Dodge Viper look on his machine tonight as he tries to run down the back bumper of the Viagra Ford Taurus. He's up 16 spots already. Next best battle on the track would be for 10th between Adam Green and Jordan Anderson. We'll get to that one in a moment because here comes Sebastian Marin, the man on the move so far. The 25 of Marin tonight, usually the 23 tonight, and the 25. Hayden runs third lane, Marin runs second lane. You can just see the difference in corner speed. Marin to the bottom. This will be for the 6th position as Sebastian Marin continues his charge through the field. To the bottom, here comes Marin in the 25. Hayden runs the defensive top line. Will Marin be able to slide up? Actually, Hayden drove off the wall. That was a great move there to kind of pin Marin down about a half a lane, keep him from getting back in the gas all the way, and that battle will cool off for a quick moment. But they go back side by side. It's a great battle here for the 6th position between Hayden and Marin, and they're losing time. The leaders here very slowly. But they are losing it nonetheless. We'll keep it here for a moment as these guys continue to just fight the race cars. These guys are both loose. Off the exit of that corner, Marin's loose almost on the straightaway. Looks like that car's stepping out on him a little bit. This time stays right side by side. Hayden, same line. Marin to the white line downstairs. Can he get the pass done this time around? This is great stuff back here for 6th. Still not able to fully complete the pass. Matt Hayden being pesky, trying to keep that car behind him. Meanwhile, closer to the front, Trey Galgan has gone on by Cody Eldred right in front of this battle. That is for 4th, so Galgan's found some speed as well. Now Marin goes on by and gets the 6th position. Next best battle on the Speedway. This is for 9th. Mike Mosley has it. Kosciulik wants it. Mosley appears to have made contact with the outside wall at some point in the early run of this race. Kosciulik goes to the bottom, really drives hard in the middle of the corner, will slide across the nose of Mike Mosley and gain that position. Further back, Green versus Bo Benham. This is for the 12th position. As they are side by side, running tight together. Jordan Anderson in the Sears Dodge is in this battle as well. You see Benham clear Adam Green. Now Anderson will go to the bottom, and this battle will settle out just a tad as well. A ton of other battles on the Speedway, so we'll go back up front, check in on your leader. That is Isaiah Dupree. He has stretched out an 8/10 lead over Christian Strader. They have 3.5 seconds on Stoney Benfield now. Trey Galgan starts to reel him in for 3rd, and you see Benfield, he's gone to the bottom of the racetrack here on lap 25. He's going to come to pit road. Short pit by Stoney Benfield. The first of the drivers on pit road is 25, crosses to 26. First pit stops of the night occur here as we get about to where this would be basically a 5-stop race for Benfield at this point. There'll be a 4-stop for the remainder of these drivers who are right on the number, I believe, right now to make it on a 4-stop. It'll be close. Maybe next time by, actually, if they can wait another lap. No move from Dupree. No move from Strader. A move from Trey Galgan as he's going to come to pit road. Cody Eldred will join him on the pit lane. Travis Elliott will join them as well as 26 becomes 27. Kosciulik is on pit road. Adam Green, Andrew Maletta, Chris Confer are on pit road as well. Davey Weaver, Charles Richardson come to pit road. And that's going to split the field up just a little bit. Lap 27 on the board. You're in the number here for a 4-stop race. Will the leader make his stop this time by? Dupree appears to be off the gas. Nope, decides to go another. Christian Strader seeds 2nd. He will come to pit road this time by, as will 3rd place Sebastian Marin, as will 4th place Matt Hayden, all coming to pit road this time by. So we'll keep it focused on Isaiah Dupree, your race leader, as we await his pit stop. Anthony English, Hunter Carlson, Bo Benham, Jordan Anderson, Brian Elmore, and Alex Green all pit, as well as Mike Mosley, and that will complete the pit cycle on lap 28 once Isaiah Dupree makes his pit stop. We expect him this time by. Dupree off the gas, down to the bottom of the racetrack. He will come to pit road and complete his service. And the last car on pit road here on lap 28 is Isaiah Dupree. We'll keep it here until they cycle back around. Quick update for you on the podium side of things as a pit cycle is underway. OP Racing regular Vicente Guerrero runs 17th right now in heat number 8. Off the pace. Going to need a caution to help him out. Currently not on pace. So OP regular here on Thursdays as well as Monday and Wednesdays series. Vicente Guerrero runs 17th in heat number 8 as they run right now. Dupree off pit road. We await Christian Strader. Will he get by him? Dupree hits the line. Here comes Strader. He will bypass him on the outside and inherit the lead. And don't look now, but Sebastian Marin will cycle forward to the third spot as a result of this pit cycle. So Strader, Dupree, Marin, Galgan, Eldred, your new top 5 after this first cycle of green flag pit stops. See the gap. These guys both run downstairs. Put a little bit of time here on Marin, who I believe is going to be saving his stuff just a little here as we stay early in the going. Lap 30 is on the board. Getting close to a quarter way into this one. This one is flying by here from the Chicagoland Speedway. We are a quarter of the way in as they pass the start-finish line. Still Strader, Dupree, Marin, Galgan. Now Benfield enters the top 5. So I should say re-enters the top 5. Big winners on that cycle. Hunter Carlson +4 from where he started. Anthony English is +6. Chris Confer is +6. Battle shaping up for the lead between Dupree and Strader as Marin fades to about 2 seconds back in third. Into turn number 1, they go again. This battle for the lead starts to heat up just a little bit as they put time on Sebastian Marin, but again, maybe a little bit deceiving. I think he might be saving his stuff. These two do not appear to be doing very much saving. Battle's going to be for fifth between Benfield and Eldred. These two, some of the closest together on the racetrack. Actually, we'll go back here where there is a battle underway between Hunter Carlson and the 777 of Adam Green on lap 32. Carlson back on by to 9th position. We'll hold that off for now. Battle back here between the two camo cars. Maletta goes on by Chris Confer on the bottom. Gets a spot. Crossover by Richardson. It's a great pack of cars right here. Maletta goes on by. The battle will continue for 15th between Richardson and Jordan Anderson in the Sears Dodge. Confer up the track, has to lift, maybe going to get the wall. They're going to be 3 wide here into 3. It's going to be awfully close. Richardson goes by, they'll keep it 2 wide, but Anderson now going to try to follow on past the 57 Aswell Alex Green as Confer tries to hold his position here in 16th. Ooh, he got the wall again right there. Now runs way high on the front stretch. And we head back up front. A little bit of a battle summary there for you on the racetrack. As we cross lap 35 right here at the line, 100 laps to go in Chicago. 134 scheduled for tonight. No cautions so far, knock on wood, through 35 of the first 134 laps. Next pit cycle, we expect to start somewhere just after lap 50, 52 to 56 will be our next target pit laps. Sonny Benfield going to be on the earlier side of that. Isaiah Dupree on the later side of that. Probably going to start to deal with some lap traffic here soon. If you are the race leader, so you'll have to deal with that. As we watch Strader go right downstairs to the white line. And Sebastian Marin has started to pick up some time again in third, so expect him to join this battle for the lead here in just a moment. As Strader rolls his way off of turn number 4 and down to the start-finish line. Great view of this battle for the lead we have going so far. Strader bypasses the line again as we hit the first drone cam shot of the night, as it follows Christian Strader around this 1.5-mile speedway and down the long curve back straightaway. Through 3 and 4, still Strader, Dupree 1-2, but Marin has started to reel these guys in. It's now down to a second and a half between the race leader and third place Sebastian Marin. The mile-and-a-half ace, who won last season's races in Fontana and Charlotte, has a part-time entry here on Thursday nights. He's back tonight, of course, for the first mile-and-a-half event of the year, and finds himself position number 3 right now after starting the tail end of the field in 23rd. Now, a quick note for you. John Guerra and Dylan Pearson are not able to make the grid tonight. So 23 cars officially started this race, as Guerra and Pearson are not in attendance here tonight. Marin continues to reel in the leaders. You're still looking at the top 2 on the racetrack, Dupree and Schrader. You see Marin now coming to camera view as he has lowered this down to about a 1.2 second lead. And for the first time tonight, lap traffic will come into effect here in just a moment as the field has caught Mark Willett. Going to be the first car, well, excuse me, the second car lap down. Bo Benham is actually already at a lap down. But the first car to be lapped here on a green flag stint will be Mark Willett, who they will catch here in a moment, and lap traffic will start to become an issue here for the field over the next several laps. Down to a second flat, back to Marin. Strader, Dupree have some company on the way. Dupree is a car length and a half back. He sees the 25 coming, now turns up the temperature a little bit, and knows it might be time to start making something happen here on Christian Strader. He knows they burned their stuff up off pit road, and Marin did not. So Dupree going to try for it right here. Lunges to the bottom for the race lead. Here comes Isaiah Dupree. He will get it. Slide up. Oh, he's coming up a little too far. Has to check up. That's going to check both of these guys up. Schrader had to lift out of it as well. Side by side down the backstretch. Marin half a second back. 5 car lengths here down the back straightaway. They're bringing that 25 Dodge Viper back into this one. Dupree back to the bottom. Marin all the way downstairs to the white line. Strader, can he run the top side? He's going to get a draft here off the lap car of Mark Willett. Still side by side. Great battle for the lead. Lap 42 goes on the board. 83 laps to go here from Chicagoland. Almost a third of the way into this round number 2 of season 2. Great racing up front. Schrader's going to get held up by the lap car here. Dupree goes to the lead. Marin has entered the battle. Strader squeezes between them. Contact between Willett and Strader. That's going to bring Marin into the battle for the lead. 3 cars now populate the top 3 spots and now are all in your camera view here. Marin goes downstairs. Dupree opts to block, so too does Strader. Both cars loose here, the top 2. Marin, he's got to be careful here. Got to pick his spots. 82 laps to go as they pass the line, lap 43 on the board. They know what happened in Charlotte. They know what happened in Fontana. These guys know an opportunity to pass them by in that race to beat Sebastian Marin on an intermediate. Once he got out front, he did not surrender the lead again. In Charlotte, it got to the point where he was 15 seconds ahead of the field. Marin for second underneath Strader. He's got the spot as of right now. He'll start to slide up the racetrack, but Strader battles back. Gets back to his quarter panel, side by side, continuing to drag race down the front straightaway. 81 laps to go for Dupree as he starts to set sail just a bit and hopes Strader can hold off the advances of Sebastian Marin as long as possible. Marin downstairs. Strader up high. Marin going to be very close to getting across the nose. Strader's in the wall. Marin through to second now. Strader settles into the 3rd position. Trey Galgan, by the way, has settled nicely into the 4th position. Cody Eldred is 5th. Travis Elliott 6th. Tony Benfield 7th. Matt Hayden 8th. Hunter Carlson 9th. And Anthony English has broken into the top 10 for the first time tonight. 3 car lengths make it 2 on entry. Separate our 2 leaders with 80 laps to go. Dupree leads. Marin is hard charging here as we get later in this run. Dupree just wants to hold off as long as he can and not give up a ton of time before this pit stop. There is a pit cycle coming just after lap 50. Dupree wants to hold on for as long as he can, as again, they know what happened when Marin got to the lead in Charlotte last season in that 300-mile race. He never looked back, never surrendered the lead again, other than to come down for routine pit service, and won that race by a comfortable margin. Dupree, one of the best on mile and a half here on Thursdays, as is Christian Strader. So some strong competition tonight for Marin, who, as far as I know, is ice cold on practice as well. I don't think he turned a practice lap in this race. So that is notable for later. Dupree and Strader each turning over 40 laps apiece. 46 on the board. It'll be 47 this time by 88 laps to go. From Chicagoland, we approach lap 50 going on the board. And Dupree has opened up about a 3.5 car length lead. Over second place, Sebastian Marin. They'll lap Mike Mosley here as they come down the back straightaway. That's going to be an unfortunate spot to catch that car for Dupree, who is also going to get a shallow entry here to turn number 3. So he has to lift way out of the gas, brings Marin to his back bumper. Battle for the lead is back on here on lap number 47. Marin catches him in a bad spot right there on the exit of turn number 4, though. So Dupree says no harm, no foul. Now Marin will have the shallow entry and have to back up the corner just a little bit. And Dupree puts a little bit more time on him. So the two match playing each other. Schrader watching from afar as these three continue to put some time on the rest of the field. Mosley actually took a look back to the bottom, but doesn't have the speed that these leaders have, so going to have to stay in behind Marin here in 3. This is great stuff up front by Marin, Dupree, and Schrader. These guys are driving the wheels off these cars. Thinking about what the next move will be. Travis Elliott has passed Cody Eldred. This is for 5th. So Elliott breaks into the top 5 for the first time tonight in the 51. Stoney Benfield battles Matt Hayden. This is for 7th. Viagra Taurus and the NC811.org Impala battle for this spot. Besides that, Alex Green goes by Brian Elmore. That is for 13th. Now Kosciolek will look for 14th. Besides that, not a lot going on at this stage. Marin has moved up the racetrack. The first to move up here late in a run to try to find some speed. He's not finding a ton so far. The gap stays at 0.3 of a second. Schrader has begun to really fall off. He's a 2.5 back of our top 2. Dupree, I think, is going to look to take the line away here from Marin. He knows he's good late in a run. He's just going to try to take his line away. Put some dirty air across the nose of that machine, and we'll see if he can keep Marin behind him here as we get closer to our second pit stop of the night. Marin closes it up there about another 10th. He's down inside of 2.5 tenths now down the back straightaway. Dupree trying to just hang on for all he's worth. But Marin spent the entire first about 15 laps of that run saving his stuff and just riding about 75% until right now, late in the run, where he can really turn it up compared to the rest of the guys on old tires. But so far, not a lot doing for the driver of the 25 Viper. The gap has fluctuated anywhere between 2.5 tenths and 3.5 tenths on the latter part of this run as we approach a pit stop. Benfield right on cue. Pits right here. He's the first to hit pit road on this run. Through turns 3 and 4, Dupree, Marin continue to battle. Adam Green going to put up a fight here with Marin, though, and that's going to slow up the 25 Viper. Adam Green trying to stay ahead of that second-place car. Slows him up just the slightest bit. Dupree's able to scoot another couple car lengths away. Marin had to really back out of it. Green's on fresh tires, trying to get back on the lead lap. And, actually get back to a lap down, I believe. And we'll do so. He is on fresh tires. Did opt to pit a little bit early, so he drives on back past the leaders. And now Marin can focus forward again here as he lost a little bit of time. Off turn number 4, Dupree way loose. Now gets back to the outside of Adam Green. The lap machine. Marin loses another half a tenth there that time by. As lap 54 goes on the board here from Chicagoland. We're wire to wire so far, over a third of the way into this one. Oh boy, close moment there. Green almost got in the back of Isaiah Dupree. Everybody keeps it going. Adam Green had to way lift out of the throttle right there. Dupree, you can tell he is on very old tires. Going to have to come to pit road. When do we see him? I expect it to be in the next couple of laps. He was the last one to pit on the last cycle. Opts to stay out right here in front of Sebastian Marin. Trey Galgan, Cody Eldred, Charles Richardson, Andrew Maletta, Chris Confer have all made their stops, as has Bo Benham, as has Chris Weaver. Travis Elliott as well makes his stop this time by on lap 55. 80 laps to go from Chicagoland. And a quick update for you from the Podium 500 as Marin hits pit road, as does Christian Schrader here, Matt Hayden and Jordan Anderson and others. A quick update for you from the Podium 500 OP Monday Premier Series driver, Wednesday Series driver, and Thursday Series regular Vicente Guerrero, unfortunately tonight, could not recover from losing the draft, and he unfortunately has been eliminated from the Podium 500 contention. He finishes 16th in the heat race and will not, unfortunately, be able to race any further this weekend. A very tough break for Vicente. As his journey in the Podium 500 ends tonight in heat number 8. Dupree hits pit road this time by the front straightaway with 88 laps to go now as they pass the, 88 laps to go. So Dupree cedes his position, and well, we've got a wrinkle thrown in this race now, ladies and gentlemen, as we await Christian Strader as, well, for some reason, and I'll try to work on getting a reasoning for you, Sebastian Marin has called it a night. Despite running position number 2, he has called it an evening here on lap 57 of 134. And it actually is 78 laps to go. Sorry about that. My math is way off tonight. It'll be 77 laps to go this time by. About 10 laps short of halfway. Whoa, Alex Green was way out of shape there right behind the race leader. How in the world did he get that one straight? He was way sideways. But, so for some reason here, Sebastian Marin has called it quits. He ran 55 laps, made his second pit stop, and called it a night. We'll work on getting some reasoning for you. But he bows out here, so now Isaiah Dupree can kind of settle down a little bit here at the front of the field. Christian Strader's about 2.5 seconds back of the driver of the 86. And I'll have to try to work that gap back down as he fell off a ton at the end of the last run. Dupree can kind of cruise here for a little bit with Marin calling it a night. 12 cars on the lead lap, and here they are. Dupree runs first, Strader is second. Trey Galgan has settled nicely into the third position. Cody Eldred is fourth. Travis Elliott is fifth. Matt Hayden is sixth. Tony Benfield is seventh. Anthony English is eighth. Chris Weaver is ninth. Jordan Anderson is 10th. Adam Green is 11th. And Brian Elmore rounds out the top 12. The cars one lap down. Alex Green, Charles Richardson, Andrew Maletta, Eric Kostyolik, Mike Mosley, and Mark Willett. The cars 2 laps down. Chris Confer and Hunter Carlson. Bo Benham is multiple laps down on pit road, as is Davey Weaver. They've been sitting on pit road for an extended period of time and out of the race. In 21st right now is Sebastian Marin. So Dupree continues to lead. He passes the start-finish line. 74 laps to go this time by, as 61 laps are on the board. We'll look for some battles here on the racing surface. There's not a lot going on here on the racetrack. Not a great battle on the speedway right now, so we'll keep it right here up front. Strader has cut half a second off the lead of Isaiah Dupree. Continues to just chip away at it here little by little. Trying to get back to the back bumper of Christian Strader and make this a race. Now with Marin leaving the field, it is a little bit wide open. Figured Marin would probably bypass Dupree for the lead on that pit cycle instead. Complete 180 as he exits the race. So it's Dupree, Strader, Galgan, Eldred, Elliott, your top 5 now on lap 62. "63 laps on the board this time by. It is 72 laps to go here from Chicagoland. I want to thank you for joining me again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Dawson Wise. If you're just joining me, round 2 of the OP Throwback Series here in Chicagoland, a trip through the second half of the 2001 Winston Cup Series schedule. Brings us to Joliet, Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway, for this second round of this series. We are wire-to-wire green so far, approaching halfway home. No cautions, knock on wood, to speak of so far in this race. And just not a ton going on right now in this race at this point. Another car going to go lap down here in a moment. That is Brian Elmore in the 39, just off the front bumper of Isaiah Dupree. So he will go one lap down in just a moment. Adam Green will also go a single lap down when the field gets to him as well. They're actually almost going to go too wide. Elmore passes Green. This will hold Dupree up for a moment as he tries to find the right move. He goes to the bottom of Green, puts him a lap down. Now we'll focus on Brian Elmore. And the gap back to Strader holds steady at about 2 seconds strong. Lap 66 on the board. We are 2 laps short of halfway home here from Chicagoland. This one is flying by. Strader cuts the lead down about 1/10, but now it goes right back to 2 seconds. As Dupree continues to lead the field. And we'll go ahead and give you a full field rundown here as we are about halfway through our third green flag pit run of the night. Isaiah Dupree, you're looking at him. He leads the field so far. As we approach halfway, it'll be halfway this time by from Chicago. Dupree runs in the first position. There is Christian Strader, about 2 seconds back of our leader, Isaiah Dupree. He runs in the second spot. How about the newcomer, the rookie, Trey Galgan? He runs third in the 49 machine. And his first start tonight of the season. So far settles nicely into a podium spot. Position number 4 is Cody Eldred. Another strong showing here for the Sharpie Chevrolet. He had a good showing last week in Daytona. Had a couple good showings at the end of the season. Last season, in Pocono specifically, ran very well in that race. And now runs well in this one as well, running in position number 4. Travis Elliott in the Lowe's Chevrolet runs in position number 5. Another strong run. That's what we're used to out of him, consistency. Same for Matt Hayden. He runs 6th, although he has had contact with the outside wall at some point in this event. The Viagra Ford Taurus currently in the 6th position as they run on the track right now. The faster pastor, Stoney Benfield, started on the pole tonight. Has settled nicely here in the top 10 in 7th. Right in front of the points leader and our winner from last week, the 44 Frosted Flakes Chevy Monte Carlo of Anthony English. As he settles into the 8th position. Chris Weaver, how about the rookie in the 88? He is 9th right now. About to be in a battle for 9th, I believe. A Fox 8 Chevrolet in front of Jordan Anderson in the Sears Dodge, who currently runs in the 10th position off a 3rd place finish last weekend in Daytona. Great run for him so far tonight as well. Brian Elmore is now a lap down, but still runs in the 11th position. They're in the salmon colored number 39 Chevrolet. The boss man, Alex Green, also just went a lap down. The Goodwrench black and silver number 3. He runs in 12th right now. There's about to be a battle for 13th. Eric Kosciolik is running in that spot right now, also in the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Chevrolet. Charles Richardson, the Oreo Monte Carlo, runs in the 14th position, as Adam Green runs in the 15th position here in the 777s. The newcomer, Andrew Maletta, lucky for him, made it longer than 2 laps without damage this time and settled into 16th position. But he as well is a lap down. Mike Mosley also a lap down in the 29. He runs in the 17th position. Mark Willett runs 2 laps down here in the 18th spot. Chris Confer runs in the 19th spot in the Camo 57. He is also 2 laps down. As is Hunter Carlson. Unsure what happened on the 2 after his good effort last week as well. But he runs in the 20th position, 2 laps down. Bo Benham, Davey Weaver, our 22nd, 23rd, continue to sit on pit road, and Sebastian Marin is off the racetrack in the 21st position. So that's your full field rundown here from Chicagoland. As lap 73 is on the board, it'll be 61 laps to go this time by for leader Isaiah Dupree, who has put 3.5 seconds on Christian Strader and the remainder of the field. And you can tell right there how off the throttle he is late in the going of this run. We are almost to our third pit stop of the night. In fact, Adam Green has made his pit stop already for this run. We would naturally, I believe, expect to see Stoney Benfield here in the next about 4 laps or so, and that would start the train down pit road on our third pit cycle of the night. There actually is a pretty good battle brewing here for 7th between Benfield and last week's winner Anthony English. As we check on that, as we're inside now 60 laps to go at the Chicagoland Speedway. English, did he tag the wall right there? It was awfully close. I think he was able to keep it off the fence. Adam Green goes on by on new tires, so he'll bypass these two once again. Benfield, English both struggling here on old tires. This is the best battle on the speedway right now between these two cars. English half a lane lower, looks to the bottom, gets to the left rear. Not quite side by side. Now they will be off turn number 4. English bounce to the bottom. Lunges for the 7th position. Side by side now in turn number 1. Benfield versus English. This is for 7th. Benfield drifts up to the wall. His bread and butter in this race. They are door to door here on turn number 2 down the backstretch. English loose, has to get out of the throttle. Benfield will maintain the spot for now, and English going to stay side by side with him. Now English rides up just a little way sideways. He hit the bump there in 3 and 4, but goes on by Benfield for 7th. Move English to 7th, Benfield to 8th. Another lunge and a crossover for Benfield, but nothing doing there. And he will be bypassed. Pit stops coming up here momentarily. Any moment we expect Stoney Benfield to be the first lead lap car to pit. And the rest of the field will follow him down in the next 6 to 8 laps. So as we await our third cycle of pit stops, the strategy continues to lean in the favor of Isaiah Dupree. He has become the class of the field over the course of the first 78 laps of this race. And now inside 60 laps to go. We'll only have to make 2 more pit stops on the night. At least should only have to make about 2 more pit stops on the night. It'll be really close on that number, actually. Got to get the number right if you're going to want to make 2 instead of 3. It's a bit of a strategy race unfolding here from Chicagoland. Another quick podium update for you. We're getting ready to put Heat 9 on the speedway, and I will tell you who all is in that heat here in a moment. While we do have a break, I do want to give you an idea of who's going to be running in that heat. And it is a stacked one. We'll see first if we have any OP-related names in that one. I do not believe we do. But in that heat, if you're familiar with racing at all, Coke Series driver Garrett Maines will start on the pole for that one. Matt Dula is in that field as well. Justin Champagne is in that field. He starts in position number 10. As you see Benfield drive on by Dupree, he's made his pit stop, as has Mike Mosley. Looking back a little bit further, Kevin Champagne as well is in that field. So a good field in heat number 9. And then in heat number 10, the nightcap tonight around 11 o'clock after this race is well done and over with. You'll have a pretty loaded OP-related field, OP or NSRA-related field. Kevin Fries, now of Dale Cup Games on Monday, formerly of Team Bootnaka. He'll start on the pole in heat number 10. Anthony English, who currently runs 12th, just made his pit stop. He will start 4th in heat number 10. OP driver Rick Seabrand starts position number 5 in heat number 10. Former OP-related driver Chris McCullough starts in 12th in heat number 10, so a pretty loaded field in terms of OP-related talent. So heat 10 will be the one to watch. This race will be well done and over with by then. That race not slated to go green until sometime around 11 o'clock Eastern. Over on Podium Esports Network. When we're done here, go check out the Podium 500. Several OP regulars have already advanced as of last night. And I'll let you know who those are momentarily as, again, we get into our pit cycle here. Dupree running long again. Strader, Green, Kosciolek, and the rest of the field on pit road this time by. Here are the OP drivers advancing out of Wednesday's races. Andrew Zanto of the Saturday Series advances out of heat number 1. Cody Nagels, the reigning Wednesday Grand National Series champion, as you see Isaiah Dupree make his pit stop. Cody Nagels, the reigning Wednesday Series champion, he finished 3rd in heat number 2. He will head straight to the Podium 500 dual races on Saturday. Former OP driver Daniel Holloway finished 8th to advance to the last chance qualifier race. Get a little further down, see if we had any more advance. OP Monday driver Steve Karosik advancing out of heat number 4 to the last chance qualifier as well. So those are your drivers from yesterday's races. Again, Zanto, Nagels, Holloway, and Steve Karosik, the OP drivers to advance out of day number 1. And obviously still a pretty loaded OP field here in heat number 10 when that rolls back around. 50 laps to go. 1 pit stop remains here from Chicagoland Speedway. It's Dupree leading the race. He picks up about a little bit over a second and a half. It's going to be inside a second and a half on Strader, who gained some time pitting a couple laps early that time. Galligan, Eldred, Benfield, your top 5. English, Hayden, Weaver, Anderson, Green, the remainder of the top 10. As Travis Elliott has called it a night as well. Not sure what happened to the 51. I believe he just came down pit road and called it a night. Yeah, I believe he did just call it a night when he came down pit road. So Travis Elliott, his night is done as well. 48 laps to go this time by from Chicagoland. Isaiah Dupree has run a heck of a race to this point. Has led ever since Sebastian Marin. Actually, has led since before Sebastian Marin called it a night earlier on in the race. He has led since he took the lead away from Christian Strader about 40 laps ago. Actually, more than that now. He's led about the last 45 to 50 laps here wire to wire. Now, notably, Strader has turned the temperature up on the leader. He's 7/10 back and has closed that gap a little bit. Starting to put a little bit of heat on our race leader, trying to make him make a mistake. Currently 7/10 back of the leader. Trey Galligan 5 seconds back. Everybody else 15 seconds or more from 5th on back. 9 cars on the lead. Lap back to Jordan Anderson in position number 9. And again, not a lot of battles on the racetrack right now. When we get into a pit strategy race, it just kind of does not lend itself to a ton of side-by-side racing. And that is certainly the case right now. It's about the time of the race where we start looking at lap times. Last time by for Dupree, a 31.1, a 31.13 for Christian Strader. That time by, as they flash by the start-finish line, 31.17 for Isaiah Dupree, 31.28 for Christian Strader. The 2 fastest cars on the speedway. 3rd fastest is Matt Hayden, who has started to surge just a little bit. He's up to 6th, trying to run down Stoney Benfield for 5th and make something of this night. Have another great run. As we are past lap 90, it's 44 laps to go from Chicagoland. cloud cover over the speedway, at least on the front end of the front straightaway. Sun's still very much out here in turns 1 and 2 on the backstretch area. 31.46 for Dupree, 31.38 for Christian Strader. A little bit faster for him last time by. Hayden still the third quickest car on the track. Actually, now it is Cody Eldred, the third quickest car on the racetrack. Lap times have fallen off already. Almost a second on this pit run as lap 92 is now on the board. A 3.5 that time for Dupree, a 4.5 for Christian Strader. So a consistent 10th faster for Dupree, and the gap has grown back up to about a second flat. Battle is on for the 5th position. Matt Hayden goes on by and touches the top 5 for one of the first times tonight, as he goes on by Stoney Benfield, who will settle into the 6th spot. Battle here, Andrew Maletta going by Adam Green. This is for the 13th position as Green gets loose, and Maletta will drive on by for 13th. Not a great battle left on the speedway. A 5.5 for Dupree, a 31.65 for Strader. The gap grows to 1.18 seconds. And Dupree starts to set sail, as he has since about lap 40, when he took the lead away from Christian Strader. And he has not looked back since. 6.1 for Dupree, 7.9 for Strader, and now the lap times really start to separate. Dupree crosses the line, 40 laps to go from Chicago. For Dupree, a win that is a long time coming. His first win since, I want to say, and I'm sure I have this wrong, his first win since, I believe, I want to say Darlington last season. I'll have to double check that. But I believe it's since Darlington, when he and Tyler Bentley shared one of their numerous great battles on that night. Dupree got the best of him in that race. Finished runner-up to him in the standings in Season 1 in his prime, now with Bentley taking some time away to run the Road to Pro circuit for a championship season. And tonight will be a nice statement for him. Some bad luck in Daytona got him off to a bad start, but this will be a nice statement run for him if he can close out the deal. One pit stop to go. The window will open for that in about 10 laps on lap 106. Dupree flashes by 97 will go on the board, a 2.2 second lead over the remainder of the field. Second place Christian Strader is no pressure out back from Trey Galgan, who is having an excellent run in his first start in the OP Throwback Series in the 49. A great run tonight for him. And he'll take a podium finish in his first start if he can hold off the advancement of Cody Eldred, who currently runs in the 4th position. Galgan would, I'm sure, be plenty okay with running 3rd here tonight in Chicago in his first start in this series. Looking for some of the other rookies. Jordan Anderson, he's going to follow up a 3rd place effort in Daytona with a pretty good effort. He's solidly inside the top 10. First car lap down in 8th position right now. Chris Weaver going to get some get back for last week and finish somewhere around the top 10. He currently runs in 9th. Andrew Maletta, we covered him. He runs 13th. Charles Richardson runs 14th. Mike Mosley, a tough run for him tonight. He's a couple laps down in 16th. Mark Willett in 18th. Chris Confort is 19th. Davey Weaver is still on pit road in 23rd. And that is the rookie report tonight. The lap counter will tick into the triple digits this time by. Isaiah Dupree flashes by the start-finish line. 35 laps to go remain here in Chicago. We are into the final quarter of this race. One final pit stop remains for the leaders. And if I'm Christian Strader, I think I might consider pitting a few laps earlier than Isaiah Dupree. You know he'll run long anyway, but I would almost go as early as Benfield does. Right when the window opens, I would be pitting. If I was Christian Strader, Trey Galgan, anyone else, just to try to get a jump on him, but Strader especially. It's in his best interest to pit early here. He's not out of range where he could overlap Strader, or overlap Dupree, excuse me. If he decides to pit super early, get some new tires, flip the lap times, and just try to hold on for dear life after that. We'll see what he decides to do. The gap up to 3.5 seconds. I would consider doing it right when the window opens here in about 5 laps or so. For now, Dupree continues to set sail. Mike Mosley's in the wall in front of him. That was a bit of a close call, but Dupree manages it. No harm, no foul. Lap 102 on the board, 33 laps to go. From Chicagoland Speedway. Heat 9 going green in the Podium 500. It's Garrett Maines on the pole there. As that one goes green, I wanted to go back really quick and give you an idea of who got out of heat number 6. We did not get to cover heat 6. As Dupree laps by, lap 104 goes on the board here in Chicago. Just checking to see if anybody from the OP circuit got out of heat 6. It does not appear that way. I don't think any of the OP regulars were in heat number 6. Dupree puts 30 laps to go on the board. Only 30 remain here from Chicago. This one's gone wire to wire. A great race so far. Some drivers have already hit pit road. They include Trey Galgan, Stoney Benfield, Jordan Anderson, and Anthony English. They've all come to pit road. Mike Mosley pits this time by as well. So we await the leader, Dupree. We await second place Christian Strader, who, if I were him, I'd be pitting right here, as English is going to go a lap down in 5th. He is on new tires, we assume, so. Strader going to hold tight in second on the racing surface for now. Unsure when we'll see him again. I would have pit. Chris Weaver pits this time by, trying to gain some track position. Meanwhile, Cody Eldred has cycled forward to third with Trey Galgan pitting a lap early. Strader started to close a little bit of this gap, but the problem is it's 4.5 seconds. His only hope now, I think, is to beat the 86 on pit strategy. Off turn number 4, Dupree back down to the start-finish line again. 27 laps to go remain for him. Again, 1 pit stop left to go for the driver of the 86, the driver of the 12, the driver of the 4, and the driver of the 6 in Matt Hayden. Everybody else, as far as I know, has made their pit service. Eldred in this time. With 27 to go, he cedes third place and will come to pit road. Dupree back around one more time, going to stay on the racing surface. Now to Strader pit this time. No, going to stay put on the racetrack. And Anthony English has come to pit road, so it apparently was not a pit issue for Anthony English. He just happened to be running 5th and went a lap down. Green on the back bumper of Dupree. He'll go to the inside with new tires. Eldred is down and away. Matt Hayden chooses to pit right here. He seeds third. Dupree back around. It'll be 25 laps to go for him. He's stretching it as long as it'll go. Christian Strader seeds second. Comes to pit road here on lap number 110. Dupree, I'd imagine we will see him right here. It's getting close to his target lap anyway. We'll see if we see the race leader this time by. If he goes another 1 or 2 laps, it's going to be awfully interesting to see how much time Strader gains on new tires. Dupree into turns 3 and 4. No indication yet that he is coming to pit road. He will stay on the racetrack. So Dupree stays on one more time. Again, the last car to pit here will be Isaiah Dupree. He'll put Strader a lap down here. So everybody in the field now a lap down behind Isaiah Dupree. 24 laps to go from the Chicagoland Speedway. Graphics Chevrolet, the yellow, black, and red trimmed Chevrolet. The Camaro livery on that machine again tonight. The normal livery we're used to seeing for Isaiah Dupree. We await his pit stop. 24 laps to go. He's got to make one more. He is the last car and has to make a pit stop, and he will do so right here. He's hot on entry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, boy, we're going to have to see. He was awfully hot right there on entry to pit road, but I think he may have gotten it down to speed. Now our camera will focus here. Dupree is on pit road. Strader has just gotten his lap back as he flashes by the start-finish line. He knows Dupree is on pit road. He just saw him leave in front of him and now knows he's got to tuck tail and drive around the racetrack in a hurry to try to get back around and pick up any remaining time he can on the race leader, Isaiah Dupree. He sits on pit road. Down off to Jack comes Isaiah Dupree, and out he rolls. Strader's off turn number 4. Not going to be anywhere close. Dupree will maintain the lead on the pit cycle. Strader not even to turn 1 quite yet. He'll close the gap, but just not a ton. How quickly can Dupree get back on the racing surface on new tires? About that quickly. It's down to a second, and Strader knows now it's go time. Inside of a second is as far as he can get it here on this pit stop. Dupree starts to get back up to speed, and now how hard will he run to hold off the advance of Christian Strader? 7/10 separate our leader and our second place car. 22 laps remain. Pit stops done and over with. Final run of the race here tonight in Chicago. Strader drives the wheels off of it, gets a little bit loose, now has to back out of the throttle, gets still getting loose, and loses 2/10. Anything he gained is gone now. 9/10 now separate the two leaders. Dupree and Strader, the two running out front of this field, have been most of the night. Driving the wheels off of it is the 12 of Strader, as he typically does here late in the going, but Dupree has been the class of the field for much of the night. Although Strader pulls the gap a little bit, Dupree has to back out of the gas here off turn number 2 big time underneath Weaver, trying to stay on the lead lap. Strader is not out of this one yet. Again, another lunge to the bottom for Dupree. Will lap traffic be the kryptonite for the Graphics Chevrolet tonight? Again catches the lap car at a bad spot. Strader's down to 2/10. He looked to the top. He wanted the top. Couldn't get it. Now going to have to take a little bit of a shallow entry to 1. Here he comes. A car length separate the two leaders. 20 laps to go in Chicago. Who's going to get the best of this one? The two fastest cars of the night all night long have found each other here with 20 laps to go. Dupree, defensive line to the bottom. Strader runs a half lane up. He's trying to get some clean air aboard the nose of the Busch Chevrolet as he tries to get a run on Dupree. A car length separate the two leaders now. 19 more times around Chicagoland Speedway. 25 miles remain in this one, and it's going to come down to all 19 laps. Strader has caught the 86 of Isaiah Dupree thanks to a lap car, and it's not going to get any easier for Dupree. He's going to continue to catch fast race cars. He's got all lead lap traffic in front of him, and the next car up beyond Jordan Anderson is Anthony English. You know the points leader's not going to take it easy on the 86 of Dupree, who now has to negotiate some lap cars. 18 laps to go this time by. Dupree, his best friend will be if he can put any lap cars as a pick that hold up to 12 of Strader. The gap is opened back up to about 0.3 of a second. Strader is trying everything he can to just keep him within range, so in case that happens again, he can take advantage and get to the back bumper of Dupree. Next car up in line is Anthony English. What challenge will he pose for the leader, Isaiah Dupree? Here comes Dupree. He's going to catch him right here, probably in 1 and 2, if not on the end of the back straightaway. Strader switches course, now runs up at the top of the racetrack, trying to find speed anywhere he can find it. Does he find any up top? No, he does not. The gap is now half a second, and Isaiah Dupree can breathe a little bit. English is hard on the outside wall. He's going to ride the outside wall. Strader has to dive off the wall and get by him, but found some time right there. So an accidental move off the wall actually worked for Strader. He might take a note, try that again. Up to the top side. He diamonds the corner. He's been picking up time. He decides to just stay up that time and loses another 10th. So Dupree again can breathe, at least for a quick moment. Next car up, Stoney Benfield. Sixth place car. Dupree caught him at a bad spot. But no harm, no foul. He's not going to lose a ton to Strader. Only about a 10th. It'll go down to 7/10 of a second. Next car up is not a lead lap machine. The next car he will lap is Matt Hayden, but it is Andrew Maletta, who is running pretty good lap times. I did not mean to do that. He's running pretty good lap times in comparison to the race leader, so not going to be an easy pass here for Dupree. We are inside of 15 laps to go. It's specifically 14 laps to go for Isaiah Dupree as he flashes by the start-finish line. 21 miles remain around Chicagoland Speedway in tonight's Throwback Series event. Dupree has led about the last 80 laps of this race. Been dominant ever since he took the lead over from Christian Strader on a lap 40. And scooted away from the rest of the field and has set sail ever since. The gap up to 1.1 seconds between he and Strader. Maletta, no harm, no foul for the leader, and now clean track for Isaiah Dupree here for a moment. And he will start to pull a little bit more time on Christian Strader, so Dupree can take a sigh of relief. Got a bit scary for him on that pit run. Strader, I think if he pits 2 laps earlier, he probably inherits the lead, and we're looking at a bit of a different scenario right now, but nonetheless, Dupree gets the better end of the pit cycle again, and now starts to pull away. Brian Elmore, Alex Green were battling for a moment. That's now about 4/10 separation between those two. Best battle on the racetrack remains the battle for the race lead, which is not much of a battle right now. 11 laps to go. Quick check on the Podium 500. Coke Series regular Casey Kerwin has taken the lead in that race. The driver of the 95 for X-Set currently leads the field in that race about halfway through heat number 9. Still battling with Garrett Maines over there on Podium Esports. 10 laps to go for Isaiah Dupree, the driver of the 86. Our points runner-up from last season. A statement here tonight. Again, it's going to be a long time coming for him. A nice win to open the season here. Some great momentum going to be going the right direction. If he can make it 9 more laps, the last thing he wants to see is the caution flag right now. We have run 125 total laps without a caution. Knock on wood, we've been wire to wire again. After we went wire to wire in Pocono to end the first season of the Throwback Series, again we are 8 1/4 laps short from going wire to wire for the second straight week. Trey Galligan had some problems on the last pit stop. He has dropped back to 8th position on this last run of the race. Tough break for him, but still going to be a good finish for him in his first event in the Throwback Series. Gap continues to grow between Dupree and Christian Strader as we approach the end of this event. Off turn 4, Dupree continues to run really good laps. 7 laps remain here from Chicago. Fastest car on track last time was actually Trey Galgan. Actually, I take that back. It was Jordan Anderson. He had to make an unscheduled pit stop late in the going. Gap still grows. 3.4 seconds now separate Dupree with the rest of the field. Only 4 cars remain on the lead lap. As we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag being thrown here in Chicago. See Mosley on new tires. He runs around Dupree on the outside. 5 laps to go. Oh my goodness, close moment. Mosley got loose there off turn number 4 right in front of the race leader Dupree. Luckily gets it back straightened out, but a close moment there nonetheless for our race leader. As Mosley almost lost the handle on that race car that time by. And a trouble on the speedway. It's Chris Confer and Eric Kosciolik. And the caution flag has flown. With 5 laps to go. And that may just wrap this one up. I don't think we are going to get back green. As Dupree crosses with 4 laps to go, that should do it. They would have to lap by the pace car right now and get 2 to go at the line for this race to get back underway. They have yet to pick up the pace car here. Dupree is searching for the pace car here on the backstretch, and that tells me this race, I believe, is going to end under the yellow flag. Now they catch the pace car, so we will wait. If they get the lights out with 2 to go, we will go back underway. If not, this race is over. And Isaiah Dupree will finish under the yellow flag as the winner here in Chicagoland. We'll see right here in about a lap's time as to whether or not we are going to get back under the green flag. We'll try to find out what the yellow flag was for. It was for Chris Confer. Back here in the 57 and Eric Kosciolik, you see them come off of turn number 2. Confer is loose, gets down the hill, connects with the 7 of Kosciolik, and they go around. And get into the outside wall. We'll take one more look at it here so we can get back to see if we're going to go back green. You see the back end step out on the 57. And he gets together with Eric Kosciolik, and they go around and get into the outside wall. Pretty tough hit for Kosciolik, who was running a really great race to that point. And they get to the outside wall and come together and bring out the first caution inside of 5 laps to go. The field is in turn number 4. We're going to see right here as the field passes the start-finish line as to whether or not we are going to get a 1-lap shootout here. Dupree may be testing the engine. Are we going to get 1 lap to go here? Past the start-finish line. And the lights stay on. This race is over. Isaiah Dupree in the 86, assuming he can finish 2 laps under pace speed, is going to be crowned the winner here from the Chicagoland Speedway in round 2 of the OP Racing Throwback Series. Obviously would have loved for it to be under green, but nonetheless, a win is a win for the 86. He led the last 95 laps of this race. And will pick up his first victory of the young season. Assuming he can make another lap and a half under caution speed and have no unprecedented issues. This will, I believe, be the first time that we have seen a race end under the caution flag here in the Throwback Series. We've seen a couple of organic green-white checkers and late race restarts, but I don't think we've ever seen a race end under the caution flag. If it had come out a lap earlier, in fact, even a half a lap earlier for Isaiah Dupree, we would be going back racing here with 1 lap to go. But luckily for him, he is going to pick up the white flag right here. White flag is in the air in Chicago as the field rolls by at pace speed. Back over, quick update here from podium before we get into our post-race show. Garrett Maines has cycled forward to the lead of heat number 9 of the Podium 500 preliminary event. With 4 laps to go, Casey Kerwin runs on his rear bumper in second. Maines, Kerwin, the 2 Champagnes running in the top 4 of heat number 9. For Isaiah Dupree, a win that he is, I'm sure, going to be looking forward to talking to me about. A long time coming for the driver of the 86. First win since Darlington last season. Christian Strader, his return to the Throwback Series, his first start of the year. He will finish P2, and he will take that in his first start back. But tonight, Isaiah Dupree outduels him. The graphics, number 86 Chevrolet, bests the rest of the field. And as he comes by the checkered flag behind the pace car, it is official now. Isaiah Dupree wins round 2 of the Throwback Series at Chicagoland. So he will roll around the racetrack and get to celebrating. And we will give him an opportunity to do so. As he picks up his first victory of the young season, and will likely inherit the points lead. Well, actually, Anthony English may keep the points lead. He finishes in 5th tonight. Dupree, a nice step in the right direction to the beginning of what he hopes to be a championship season, as he picks up his first victory here in week number 2. And we enter the post-race celebration and the post-race show, brought to you by Premier Racing Setups. And Isaiah Dupree will burn it down here on the front stretch in Chicago. So Dupree burns it down tonight as the winner in Chicagoland. Welcome into the Premier Racing Setups post-race show. As we get you your finishing results here tonight from the Chicagoland Speedway. Isaiah Dupree, the first win of the year for the driver of the 86, as he gets the victory tonight at Chicagoland under the caution flag. Christian Strader's first start of the season ends in a second-place finish. He looked fast all night and finishes runner-up in tonight's race. How about that run from Cody Eldred in the 4? The Sharpie Chevrolet on the podium here tonight in Chicago. A great start to the year for him. Matt Hayden in the Viagra Taurus finishes in the 4th position, and Anthony English, your points leader, will remain the points leader after tonight's race in Chicago. He finishes in the 5th position. Chris Weaver, the rookie, finishes in 6th. Trey Galligan in his first start finishes in 7th. The faster passer, Stoney Benfield, finishes in 8th position tonight. Brian Elmore gets a top 10 there in 9th. And the boss man, Alex Green, finishes in 10th position. Andrew Maletta finishes 11th. Eric Kosciolik in 12th. Jordan Anderson finishes 13th tonight. Charles Richardson finishes 14th. Hunter Carlson finishes in 15th tonight with Mark Willett in 16th. It'll be Adam Green finishing 17th tonight. Mike Mosley will finish in the 18th position. Chris Confer, we saw him get involved in that late race incident. He finishes 19th. Travis Elliott finishes in the 20th position tonight. It'll be Davey Weaver finishing in 21st. Sebastian Marin dominated the early part of the race. Unfortunately, bowed out about 50 laps in. He finishes 22nd. Bo Benham finishes 23rd. And then the two cars that missed the grid tonight, John Guerra and Dylan Pearson. That's your finishing results. Stay tuned right here. You're going to hear from your top three as we get ready to talk to the top three drivers on the podium tonight. And we will begin with the man who finished third position tonight, the driver of the Sharpie Chevrolet, Cody Eldred. We'll see what he's got to say about his efforts tonight. Hey, Cody, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
Hey, I gotcha.
Well, a great finish for you tonight, a great run. We saw you run well last week. We saw you run well in Pocono to end season number 1. You get a third-place finish tonight. Take me through the night, a night that ran almost wire-to-wire under the green flag. Take me through your night and how you got to a third-place finish.
I think my my qualifying, just throwing it to the wall, and well, not to the wall, but balls to the wall, and just trying to get a good qual lap, and that kept me up front. And my pit in, pit exit had to execute. There's a couple guys that didn't. Unfortunately, they just gave up. Racing there with Trey for a majority of the race, trying to run him down, and then he ended up doing bad fuel pit strategy there. But this was a good race. A couple of the sketchy lap cars, but we got through it unscathed. I'm happy to have a 0X, and it was overall a fun race, even though it probably was boring with going about green to green here.
Well, the pit strategy certainly made up for it on that front, and you've gotten to where you're getting some more consistent success. We saw you run well inside the top half of the top 10 most of the day in Pocono to end the last season. Today you run up front most of the day. You run in the top 5 for the majority of that race. So, what's gone into this recent success? What do you attribute that success to as we get off to a new start here in the new season?
I've been running the Gen 4 car quite a bit. I'm in another league on Sunday, so getting used to the car in that. And that's the aspect of, I was trying to save tires and it just wasn't working. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to drive it how I want it and not care about the tires here. Because this car and this track is going to eat tires. But I was able to just keep the smooth momentum, scrape the wall a few times. But I'm happy to come home with this P3 tonight.
Well, absolutely. A good run for you tonight as we start the season, building on that success that you've started to accrue here. You come away third tonight, so while I've got you up here for a second, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I'm going to thank my wife, Crystal, for letting me do this. And working in the real racing world is a big bonus.
All right, well, congratulations on a fantastic run tonight. A third-place finish for you, a podium effort as we get started in this new season. Go enjoy it, go celebrate, and we will see you here next week.
All right, thank you. Look forward to watching the broadcast.
Cody Eldred, the man who finishes third tonight in the 4. We move now to the runner-up spot. The man making his return to the series tonight, Christian Strader, in the 12. We'll see what he's got to say about his efforts. Hey, Christian, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson. How you doing, man?
Well, not too bad, but I'm sure not as good as you. A runner-up finish here, your first start of the season tonight in Chicago. It's a second-place effort for you. Take me through your night. How'd you end up second?
Honestly, I just kind of stuck to the bottom and followed Isaiah. That was kind of the plan for a while there. It's not my favorite track. It's something about it, I can't ever keep the tires on it. So my big strategy there was keep the tires on and try to stay a little close to the leaders.
Well, you do that for most of the night. Is there anything you could have changed? We saw you move around trying to find some grip late in the race on the last run. Is there anything you could have changed to beat the 86?
I think if I would have started off the race a little earlier, just kind of being a little easier on the tires, I think once that gap just kind of built up, it kind of pushed me into a situation where I had to kind of push the car a little bit more.
Well, absolutely. We saw you do that. Well, hey, a second-place effort, certainly not bad at all here in your first start of this season. So we go forward now. You got a second-place finish in your first start. It's got to be a great momentum builder. How does this translate here as we get started in a new season?
Yeah, it definitely has me excited moving into the season. Like I last season had seen Tyler a few times, hadn't seen Isaiah. I actually didn't race against him last season, and so it was kind of nice to see. And I'm just excited to race against those guys. They're really good guys and put together pretty good races.
Well, absolutely they do. Well, you put together a good race tonight, a second-place effort for you here in Chicagoland. So before I let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Just a shout out to Hunter and Alex. Hunter kind of helped me out with my pit stops because I didn't know how many laps of fuel we had left. And then also Alex for putting this together. He did a great job putting this all together and getting a good group of guys.
Well, absolutely. Well, congratulations on a second-place effort for you here tonight in Chicago. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. And we will see you next week.
Appreciate it, man.
Christian Strader, the driver of the 12, the second-place finisher tonight. That leads us to the man of the hour, the man in victory lane for the first time since Darlington of last season, the 86 Graphic Chevrolet of Isaiah Dupree. Hey, Isaiah, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure.
Well, you're back in victory lane tonight. I'm sure this one's got to feel pretty good as we get into a new season, a dominant effort. You took the lead on lap 40 and never looked back. Take me through that race. How'd you get the job done tonight?
Yeah, it was a really fun race tonight. It was a pretty slick track, and we had to back up and save tires for the most of the run, so I just tried to play the long game each run and just take my time and let the track come to me, and thankfully it worked out there. And Sebastian made a mistake and got caught with the pit road speeding and kind of put me in a position where I could kind of walk away with it.
Well, absolutely. Well, hey, on that last run, we saw you catch a lap car there coming off pit road. It brought Christian Strader back to your back bumper. You knew he was running hard. You know, what's going through your mind? He's right on your back bumper. In fact, you guys battled for the lead for a quick second. What was going through your mind there on the last run of the race?
I just wanted to keep him behind me. I didn't want to get behind and have to play catch up, even if it was for a lap or two. I know I had a little bit fresher tires, and I knew that he'd really been pushing the past two runs like really early. So I was trying to be patient and keep him behind me, and thankfully he raced me clean, and I was able to keep him back there and was able to create a gap before that caution.
Well, we saw a ton of success from you last season, the battles you shared with the champion of last season, Tyler Bentley. He steps away. You get a victory here on the first intermediate of the season. How does this translate to the rest of your season as we get started here in Season 2?
Yeah, hoping I can make the full season this season, and hopefully this puts me in a pretty good spot in the points. Seems like we've got a really competitive field. Christian was really fun to race there this past race, so hopefully it can keep up going forward. Looking forward to New Hampshire next week. I've always loved that track, and it should be a really good combination with this car.
Well, absolutely it should. You're in victory lane tonight. It's a first win of the season for you here in Chicagoland. So before I let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to thank and shout out?
Yeah, thank you for putting on the broadcast. It's always such a fantastic thing to go back and watch. And then thanks for Alex for hosting the league. I've known him for better part of a decade now. I've been racing with him. It's always fun. Always enjoy the league he's put up. And then everyone back at MadWorks for being fantastic teammates.
All right, well, congratulations on your first victory of the season tonight on the first intermediate trip of the season in Chicago. Go celebrate, go enjoy it. We will see you next week.
All right, take it easy, Dawson.
Isaiah Dupree, the man of the hour, the winner here from the Chicagoland Speedway in round number 2, the OP Racing Throwback Series. New Hampshire is next week's race. You heard Isaiah Dupree allude to it there. No broadcast next week. Again, a quick note, no broadcast next week. Scheduling conflicts for me. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I want to say at Kansas. I could be completely wrong on that. I do not have it handy, but I will get you an idea of where we will be in 2 weeks. So you for sure know where we are going. Give me just 1 second here, and I will give you that really quickly. So New Hampshire next season, we are back at Pocono. Sorry, a return trip to Pocono in 2 weeks' time. Back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Again, no broadcast next Thursday night, but join us back in 2 weeks for the trip to the Pocono Raceway. You heard Christian Strader call it out there in his interview. A speeding penalty to Sebastian Marin is what derailed his night. He decided to put it back on the truck after a speeding penalty on the second run of the race for the 25. So good to get some feedback on that. Good to get a little bit of closure there for Sebastian Marin in the 25. Head over to Podium Esports. Heat number 10 coming up next. I believe Heat 9 has already gone checkered. And it has, so go over to Podium Esports. Heat number 10 is about to go green flag racing for Podium 500 Racing from Daytona. Anthony English is in the field. Kevin Fries, Rick Seabrands, and a couple of others from the OP community are in the field in Heat number 10. It's a great field of drivers. Go over there and watch them try to make their way into the duels or last chance qualifiers, make their way to Saturday for the Podium 500 event. Other than that, I believe that's it for Money Racing for the week as well. No PGR tonight on the Ghost Racing Network. Taking a break because of the Podium 500 running later than anticipated. For OP, Saturday Series is back on Max Speed TV on Saturday night. Next week, the Monday Premier Series and Wednesday Grand National Series come back to the Turn 3 Racing Network once again. Join KR Stolfus in the booth for those races as we head on and trudge through the middle part of the season here in those two nights of racing. Tuesday night, keep your calendar marked to watch the Ghost Racing Network on Tuesday night as PGR hosts its Better Half Dash for the Valentine's Day weekend, where the wives and girlfriends of the drivers you'd see on Thursday nights are going to take their talents behind the wheel in the spirit of Valentine's Day and go for some Talladega truck racing. That should be a lot of fun. I'll have the call for you on the Ghost Racing Network. It's going to be a great night over there at PGR. PGR is back next week on Thursday night as well. I do believe they are back next week, taking a week off this week, but back next week on Thursday night over on the Ghost Racing Network as well. Be sure to join the crew over there for the call of that race. That's going to just about do it for me. I am Dawson Wise. You've been watching the Turn 3 Racing Network. That's going to do it. Isaiah Dupree wins tonight in Chicagoland in round number 2. We'll be back in 2 weeks to get to Pocono and give you a recap of the New Hampshire race next week. Be sure to join us at 9 o'clock on the East Coast here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Again, my name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks so much for watching tonight. Thanks so much to Premier Racing Setups for sponsoring us. And until